Citywide was here was 1967. And we don't want to repeat that. I'm not doing it. As a matter of fact, there's nothing that's happening that we need them to do that we can't do ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
So I just want to start off with those points. So I could go back to the history of this thing, when we began doing this, and I know there'll be questions about it, but I just wanted to let people know we've been dealing with this for over a year now, right? And it has not really been this level of media and hoopla around what's going on. Ultimately, what happened, because the city injected a new orthophosphate into the water to coat your pipes, which is a food-grade additive. And I know all this because Kareem told me that. But it's a food-grade additive that gets into the pipe, right, to coat the pipe. In order for us to see if it was actually getting into the system, we had to test the orthophosphate in the pipe to see if it was getting in one end and coming out the other. So we tested a house in the North Ward, a house in the South Ward, and a house in the West Ward, right? To make sure the orthophosphate was coming in at the beginning and leaving out at the end. That's important for us because we want the orthophosphate to leach onto the pipes. And the problem is if we don't use the water, the old water will not leave and allow the new water to come in, right? So the old water stays stagnant in your pipes if you don't use it. And I know people aren't using it. I had a conversation with a young man on social media about him taking a shower once a week. And the idea is you cannot get bad boys taking showers. And that's why we have to make sure we get the right messages to folks, because we actually need them to use the water. We tell you if you have a lead service line and you live in a Pequannock area, you shouldn't right now drink the water or cook with the water, but we need you to use the water, right? It sounds contradictory, but it's not. It's very clear, and we need that to happen. So when we tested that orthophosphate, the good thing about it is that the chemical is getting into the system, right? It's coming out, and it's having impact on lead levels, right? Which means that logically follows if we get more of it into the system over a period of time, it will have a definitive impact on the system. The DEP doesn't like us to say it like this publicly because they have to test us twice while it's down in order to approve that the lead levels have been down. The protocol, we have to get 2 testings in a 6-month period. They will have to test us again to make sure it stays down in order for us to say that our lead levels are completely down because of the orthophosphate. But what we are seeing preliminarily is the chemical is beginning to have impact in our system, which means that we need to flush it and make sure it gets in there. While they were doing that, they tested those 3 homes. And out of testing 3 homes, out of 38,000 filters that we gave out, 2 of the homes, it reduced the lead, but not below 15 parts per billion, which is the standard that it has to be reduced at in order for it to be classified as safe, right, or okay. One of the homes did reduce it below that level, right? Way below it, where it was almost undetectable, right? So what we have here is 1 filter that worked, 2 that did not, right? We had a conversation with DEP and EPA on the phone. Obviously, this is an election year. I can't tell you all the other stuff, but we had a conversation about this, and I expressly said, listen, are you going to help us distribute this water or give us water? Because the reason why Newark began giving out filters in the first place is because we first had this discussion a year and a half ago. The state said that we should give out water, and I asked them how much water do they have to give us. They said maybe a week's worth. And we can't get involved in that, right? So we decided we're going to give out filters, and the EPA and NST and all NSF and all these people certified and approved. We didn't go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick a filter, out of the sky. These people approved these filters. These were filters that are using in Flint, where they have much higher lead exceedances than us. There are people running around saying that Newark's lead exceedances are higher than Flint. That's just not true. It's not factual at all. I mean, they were as high as 4,000 parts per billion in Flint. And I get offended by that because in Flint they had a water source problem. We don't have a water source problem in Newark. In Flint, they purposely did not put corrosion control in the water because of the cost of it. That's not what happened in Newark. Our corrosion control stopped working. We put a new one in. When we found out, we began constructing a facility so we can inject the new one, and we injected it in May, which means that it just started to get into our system. These ones made by the month of this and the month of that are defective. We don't know that. We have to test them in order to see that, right? And the DEP understands that, and the EPA understands that. They understand that we have to test more. We've come up with a preliminary protocol, which, and I say preliminary because it's just the beginning of testing about 200 of these filters. The number might get smaller, it might get larger. We tested 200. The good thing is we began testing since that Saturday when we did the press conference. We began testing filters, so we're already on the way. We just have to get the protocols established. Get them to agree how many we should test in order for them to make a decision about whether the filters are good or not. Until that happens, we made a decision to give out water. Right? And I don't want people to think we're giving out water because the EPA sent us a letter. That's not true. In fact, they sent us a letter. Then they sent us another letter after that to tone down the first letter that didn't get all of the circulation that the first letter got, right? Because our folks talk to them periodically over periods of time. Because ultimately, we need people to use the water, right? We need you to use the water so the orthophosphate can get in there. And we don't want people saying, oh, we have to use bottled water for everything. That's not factual. It's not factual, right? And so we decided to give out water because the lead and copper rule does not require that we give out water. All it requires is that we tell you you have to use bottled water. It does not tell us that we have to give you bottled water. All over the country, the only place where they're doing this is maybe it was Flint, but this is not a Flint and Newark issue. There are 300,000 lead service lines in the state of New Jersey alone. There are millions of lead service lines around the country. People are getting high exceedances, and they never was told to give out bottled water because the lead and copper rule doesn't demand that you do that. The lead and copper rule also doesn't tell you to give people filters. Doesn't say you have to give residents filters. All you have to do is tell residents that there are an exceedance and then they be lead in the water, right? And we can advise you not to use it. We decided to give out filters because we think it was the right thing to do, right? Yes. Feel free. We gave out 38,000 filters in a couple of months and 31,000 replacement cartridges. We already had a system in place, and so the water came on top of that system, right? And so there's this talk that the policy is that we turn the people away. No one, as a matter of fact, we sat in a meeting and I made it clear to all the directors, no one is to be turned away, even if we know for a fact they don't have a lead service line. And no people are trying to scare people to death and to believe in all this other stuff, but we're telling people, listen, you can take the water, but we're writing it down. We're going to come to your house and let you know if you have a lead service line or not. And it's important to give people information because information is empowering, right? People who try to use fear to organize are dangerous, right? You can't use fear to organize people. You have to give them information and allow them to make a decision based on the information that you gave them, the facts. If they don't agree with you, they don't agree with you, but give them the information and the facts so they can make a decision that's based on real information, not you scaring people to death, right? To me, that's problematic. It's Trumpian even, right? So at the end of the day, the city of Newark has a little over 8, and whenever I'm wrong, just step in, have a little over 18,000 lead service lines in the entire city. 18,000 or so lead service lines. 14,000 of those lead service lines exist in the Baraka'S system. We have 2 systems.
This junk from the city, a lot of us don't read it, just throw it away. That's letting you know we had a lead exceedance. These are the steps we're taking to get back into compliance. Andrea Adewale, the former director, may she rest in peace, right? We brought in an independent set of eyes, a company called CDM Smith, to immediately start looking at what we probably wasn't looking at, right? To get a fresh set of eyes, looking at areas that we didn't think to look at, right? And early on, CDM said, hey, we should involve the US EPA in helping us determine what's going on. We dug up pipes in the ground, and we sent them out to the EPA region lab in Cincinnati. People that did the study in Flint. They were happy for us to do that. Very unique. That was February. we're moving along. We engaged the state with rolling out a lead service line program in April of 2018. Because you know what? We need to really just get rid of the lead pipes. So we had to keep kicking this thing down the road, band-aiding. And this administration, we moved forward with that. In July of 2018, we got our third exceedance. Meeting with the EPA and DEP, where we at with the studies we're doing, the pipe those studies we're doing. Looked at advanced studies that nobody in the country is doing. So lead and copper was going to change this summer. Towards the end of the summer, it would be called the North study. Everything would be labeled after the North. We don't want to be the guinea pig, but we did studies to really find out what's going on. So, moving right along, the federal government finally sent us back our report in October. I want to say like October the 5th or the 7th, 2018. The pipes bill and said, hey, flushing doesn't work in the aquatic area, right? We need to do something, let the people know to get bottled water or get the filters, the mayor said. And we chose, you know what? We'll give out the filters. And these are nationally certified filters. And that's certified. 53. We gave them out. 30,000 in like the first 90 days. And the remainder we got up to like 40,000. Did about the cartridges. We did public education. We did town halls. So along the process, everything we needed to do, we were doing it. We continue to do that. We put out literature. Some of it we throw it away. We were on radio shows. We were on teletown halls. We're coming into some people's homes. We're at churches. We're doing everything. We launched the People Assembly to help us spread the message. Right? We were going out with it. So, and as we gave out the filters, we got our fourth exceedance in December of 2018. We let the state know it. However, in the background, we had this group called NRDC. Marched into our office, want to meet with us. We thinking they're coming to meet with us to hear them out. Hey, we want to get an MOU with you. We want to force you to do things that the federal government said that you're not doing enough. But they want us to go above and beyond what the federal government tell us to do. So we got two regulators, the EPA and the DEP. This group came in and said, we want to be the third regulator. If not, we're going to sue you. Rightfully so, we said, get out of here. We got two regulators. We already submitted to two masters. We don't need a third one. We don't even know you. You ain't even coming in to help. You ain't coming to educate. You came in to cause confusion. Right? Then a lot of us joined on with NRDC and said, we're going to sue the city. What are you suing the city for? Because everything that we're supposed to do, we're doing. We've been doing it. We've been sharing information. We told you we had a legacy. That's why you're here. So, and finishing that up, we tested three filters under extreme conditions. You know the mayor always say we call extreme conditions, not in normal conditions. We pushed this filter to the max to see where it would fall. Right, and it fell. We don't know why. We expanded the sampling pool. We just agreed on the procedures last week. We just got a rough number that may increase or decrease. That's what we're doing. I want to thank a lot of you today because a lot of those teams from the EPA, DEP, and Pure Filter, that company's been on the ground with us too. They were so impressed by the amount of respect that people were giving them as they come into their homes. Right, they were afraid. The message was, you shouldn't come to North, you should be afraid. But today, we were just at a meeting spot, we come in, and these people were saying, man, we got a real welcoming coming to North. We were told it was harsh, it was brutal. Watch where you're going. But they love it. They love that the residents are cooperating. So I'm going to take a couple of questions that you may want to ask me real quick.
They want us to do what they're telling us to do. So they have a couple of things that they're saying that the city needs to do. The problem with that is that even if we do what they tell us to do, we still have to do what the EPA and DEP tell us to do. If we do what they tell us to do and it's against the DEP or the EPA, we're going to be violating. So it doesn't even make sense to me to do that, especially when we already have oversight.
I don't understand who they are.
Oh, it's a group, it's a national organization. People think it's a local, as a matter of fact, you can look it up online. One of their major funders is Leonardo DiCaprio. right? So in a national organization, they do the kind of water thing, water safety around the country, which is not a negative thing, by the way, right? We're having a disagreement with them because we do not believe that they should be able to be in charge or tell us what to do in the situation. We definitely take advice and help from people from anywhere who want to come and say, we need some help, here's what we think, here's what you should do, engineers. Even if they say, listen, we're a consultant, here's some stuff, we have information. But to come to the city and say, you have to do this, if you don't do it, we're going to sue you. I mean, that relationship from the beginning starts out negative, right? It starts off negative, and then we already like, wait a minute. Well, first of all, we don't even know who you are. How can you give us demands what to do? I don't know you. We have to research even who you are first, right? But we're in a, and honestly, the suit was getting a little bit less contentious until this thing happened, right? So we're in it now, and the judge will be giving a ruling on the first part of it very soon. But there's another part of it that is going to happen later, probably after the test results come out in terms of the water filters. I know, and they wanted us to give water to the entire city of Newark, right? And first of all, the entire city of Newark don't need water. There's no evidence of that anywhere. There's no evidence that the whole city needs water at all. Nowhere. There's no evidence that points us in that direction. So obviously we're going to say no, and it creates an unnecessary panic for people to make them believe that we're giving, because now even if we give out the water now, people are saying, oh, if there's nothing wrong with the water, why are you giving out water? And we can't, it takes us a minute to go through all of what's going on, right? People don't want to hear it. So the reality is, everybody don't need the water. We're not going to throw people out or turn them away, but you don't need it. So we should be able to, plus, because there's limited resources, we can't take water from people who need it and give it to people who don't. For example, the people who need it the most are pregnant women and children in the house that are 6 years and younger. Right? We have to focus on those folks and 14,000 homes that we know have lead service lines.
How many homes have already had their lead lines changed?
About 700 have already had their lead service lines changed in 60 days. We've changed 700 lead service lines. There's no question.
This additional additive that you're putting in the water, what effect would it have on humans?
Can you repeat the question?
So the young lady asked, the additive, the orthophosphate, what effects would it have on humans? None, because you use orthophosphate every day. Orthophosphate is in the soda, it's a food grade additive that you see every day. It's in soda, it's in orange juice, it's in milk. It's a food grade additive, it just does a little coating around the body. So it doesn't have any effect, it hasn't been any effect that you see.
I want to say something too about that, because I had a question on the internet. Somebody said, well, if nothing's wrong with the water, why are you treating it? And I think that we in America have a privileged understanding of what water is. All the water is coming from an open reservoir, right? And all water in the country or in the world have to be treated. Because if it's not treated, then there's algae and bacteria that forms on the water. So we have to treat it, right? And so all the water is treated. Water that's not treated around the world is not potable. You can't drink it. And countries do not have drinkable water, access to drinkable water, because it's not treated. So we have to treat the water in order to make it drinkable. Outside of the lead issue, all water has to be treated. Yes, ma'am. I got you. 1, 2. Yes, ma'am. Two.
Okay, well, first of all, they want to know, what can they do? Do we need help with making phone calls to get water?
Okay.
Do we need help with that?
So, we've been getting thank God is good, right? We've been getting an abundance of water. We partnered with the Community Food Bank of New Jersey as the staging point. Right now, the place is filled up to the max. Right? The state police just told us today that they have an additional 40,000 pallets of water that they have not given to Newark yet, because we still got the original pallets of water that they gave us, because we get water from everybody, residents, corporations, people are bringing water in. But don't turn away. Tell them we'll take the water, like to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, or bring it to one of the sites. Boiling Rep, Vince Lombardi Center, St. Peter's, or now we call it Boat Porter on Lyons Avenue, or the health department. We'll take it. We'll take it. So if they want to bring it, they can. We okay with the phone calls, except what I would love for people to do is talk to their neighbors, tell people that they should find out if they have a lead service line. That's the first thing you should do. Find out if you have a lead service line. Okay, what you should do, there's two things you can do. You can go to NewarkLeadServiceLine.com. It should be on this fact sheet that we gave out. You can go to NewarkLeadServiceLine.com and type in your address. And it should tell you, based on our database, whether you have a lead service line. But check this out. So you might type it in and your address don't come up, but you know that your house is old. Call the water department. Listen, I thought I didn't have a lead service line. I called the water department, they checked, guess what? I have a lead service line. So it'll take them 5 minutes to come to your house and tell you whether you have, they don't get there in 5 minutes, but they'll be at your house in 5 minutes. It'll tell you whether they have whether you have a lead service line or not. That's the first thing you should do. If you have a lead service line, then you should sign up to get it replaced, right? And that's what you should be telling people. Sign up to get it replaced. Point blank. I got it. Yes, ma'am. She got another one.
And do we have a plan if we find any lead in our children? Do we have a plan to remove that from our
Yes, so it's a couple of things there.
Can you
One,
repeat the question?
she's asking about lead that's found in children. So, from Monday to Friday, we test all the children for free in the health department. Everybody gets free lead testing. On Saturday, University Hospital picked up the slack, and they're going to do Saturdays for us. All lead testing is free. That is reported to the state if you have an exceedance of about 5% or 5 milligrams, or whatever they call it, and 10 milligrams for adults. Then you're partnered with a counselor who talks to you and your family about how to deal with lead. What the medical folks are telling us is one of the most valuable things in neutralizing lead in the body is calcium, right? The introduction of more calcium. And calcium is found in milk, right? And other things. So that's what the medical folks are saying. I don't drink milk, that's my issue, but I mean, at the end of the day, that calcium is important, right? But go get checked out, listen to a doctor, not the man. Blue first, blue. And then purple. Yes. Yes, ma'am, I got you. One second. Can I get some help? Somebody help me get these hands? Because I'm forgetting people when they don't get angry in half a second. Go ahead.
How old were you have that were tested? How old were they? That's one same question, same part. Senior building in York. I live in a senior building and I'm sure you don't know a lot of people in York. What was the age? I want to say same thing. How old was the building that have lived?
So, you asked two questions. One, the houses that we tested have lead service lines. They were built between 1896 to 1942. So those are older homes. Large buildings, like the senior buildings, 1060 Broad, St. James on Bergen, what's the Bergen Street?
J.C. White.
J.C. White on Bergen. The buildings on Ludlow, 800 Franklin Avenue on North 6th Street. The new community buildings, 180 and 130 and 160. Those buildings are serviced by larger pipes. So a lead service line starts at the size of a quarter and as large as a 50-cent piece. So you wouldn't get enough pressure or flow to come through a small pipe like that to feed a multi-family building. So we got to give you a different type of pipe, which would be cast iron, which would be 3 inches up, 18 inches diameter. That would feed your building. They're not made of lead.
Are you saying that the senior buildings in York that were built before?
That were built. So you would have probably a ductile line or cast iron pipe. You wouldn't have a lead service line, one, because the lead service line is too small. Even any buildings, not houses. When you talk about buildings, they need a larger diameter pipe, a larger diameter for a quarter. It'll be the size of a frisbee. But just think about the size of a frisbee or the size of a can of juice. The 1.5 gallon can of juice would be those type of things, the diameter. So you wouldn't have a lead pipe in the building. However, we did engage with Housing Authority. Victor Cirillo and his people last year, they hired a group called Lewis Consultant Environmental Group that came around and did a lot of testing in the Housing Authority, even some of those older complexes. But it didn't really, it worked out for them.
So you understand, most of the big buildings don't have that service line. It's usually 1 to 4 family homes. Yes.
I believe some of my questions have been answered, but however, personally, my two-family dwelling is an old family, was built in 1950s. I moved in 1998. The pipes are still exposed. I don't know if the pipes have been properly installed correctly. Now, my concern is in my commode, there are brown circle rings in my commode that I would like to have someone come test it.
So I'm gonna let Kareem deal with that, but go call the water department like I did and get that pipe and service line tested. So we get a lot of questions from people that say my water is discolored. The discoloration of water does not mean you have lead. The discoloration of water is a myriad of things that can be going on. The city could be flushing the fire hydrants. There could have been a fire up the street. There's construction going on somewhere around in your area that discolors the water, which means you have to flush it. Or it's been sitting in your pipe for a long period of time, and you have to run it in order to get the discoloration out. It's like when you turn on a fire hydrant, it comes out brown at first, then it gets clear because it's been sitting in that pipe for a long time. The discoloration of water is not a symptom of lead. So that's important. Who's got the next question? I'm gonna call her first. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening to you guys. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Good evening. I have 2 questions.
You can speak up a little bit?
I have 2 questions. The first question is, Mayor, is that you stated that the water distribution is not for, everyone, only the ones who have the issues with the lead service line. So is there a way to avoid, the residents who do not know or think they are entitled to the water to not be standing in, the line, because the line, from what I'm seeing is long.
Well, at certain points of the day, because I've been to all of these places, and you're right. I was at the Vista party. One of the young men came up to me and said, listen, I don't know if I have a lead service line. How do I find out if I have one? Because I don't want to be in here getting no water. So I told him what to do. We have to tell people to go to newarkleadserviceline.com so they can find out. If they're still not sure, to call the water department. If they come get water, we're going to give it to them anyway. Especially if they're pregnant and they have little kids. We're going to give them the water. But we're going to go to their house because we set up a system where you can go to their house and tell them, because it's better to have a conversation with somebody in their living room than it is in a line at the rec center, right? And they don't want to talk to you in the line at the rec center. First, it's embarrassing. So they want to go to their house and tell them, look, we gave you cases of water, but you may not need it. Here's why. And so the more information we give out to people, the easier it becomes. Last couple of days have been light around the city at the places where they distribute water. It's been light because we've given out a lot of water already. And plus people are becoming educated and understanding that they don't need it. Like folks that have newer homes are saying, okay, I don't need it. We just had a coffee clutch in the West Ford. One of the gentlemen in the home said, listen, I don't have a lead service line. I have a new house. I'm good, right? And so more people are becoming educated about it. The problem is we have landlords, right?
The fixtures. Outside of the fixtures, are there any other sources of lead piping in the homes that people need to be concerned about?
So, in 1986, the city of Newark made it mandatory. Right? It was a legislation that if you built a new house, you had to use copper. So you could use lead side as a body. But the biggest risk for lead exposure is the lead service line. When a thing clean water accident coming out, also spread the positive message up, let's go door to door. But the biggest risk probably 98 to 95% of the risk is the lead service. We need people to sign up, get it replaced. That's the conversation we had with our neighbors. Get it replaced when money is available, funding is available. We need to get it replaced.
I do want to say what the doctors have been saying to us as well, which is what they're worried about is when we get through this, because we will. When we get through this water issue and the lead levels are down in the water, the real lead problem that we have goes away. And the real lead problem that we have is lead-based paint and lead dust in older homes that we've been debating for at least 50 years. So this whole discussion of lead, we can't let it escape us. Once we finish with this water, we need to start talking about these old homes and lead-based paint, lead chipping, all these other things that are in our house. So this discussion will not go away once we start finishing with this water. Who was the next person?
So, three quick things. Earlier today, somebody brought to my attention about the child care center. So child care centers are regulated by the Department of Children and Family Services to conduct independent certified tests by independent lab, right? To check, to not test only the source, not test only the source water coming in, but to check all the fixtures that may serve as a child care center. And if it's found out that you have lead from the fixtures, the child care center is responsible for changing them out immediately. The same process that went on with the Nook schools in 2016. You got to cut them off, meaning turn them off so the kids can't use it, or you can't draw water from them until you use them. So most of the child care centers, I'm going to answer your question. Most of the child care centers are renting buildings that they don't own, right? So once you get those independent tests, it's up for the landlords to come back. And we did an inspection in 2018 in the city of licensed and registered child and family service daycare centers. And we only found 3 of them that had lead service lines at that time. One of them was closed down, and one of them remodeled the building, and they changed the lead service line. So that would be the reason why we don't regulate, the city don't regulate child daycare centers. It has to be done by the state Department of Children and Family Services. What area is this water in?
I don't know if it was the central water.
So why don't Littman on Sheffield Drive, 7th Avenue? They don't have a lead pipe. This is brand they got copper pipes coming through. Most of the central ward is brand new. We should all know that. A large part of the central ward, if you look at Urban Turner, almost everything going around there is new development. Right? It's the miles down. So the central ward houses that we started looking at, right? But most of the central ward is fed on the Wanacue system. So the mayor alluded to this earlier. Parts of the north, south, and central. A big part of the central ward is new. Another part of the central ward is on the Wanacue system. And the part of the central ward that we were targeting is a couple of those teen blocks at older homes, like Winans Avenue or Rose Street, right? Or little areas of Seymour and Chadwick. But most of the central ward, if you think about it, it's new. Urban Turner Boulevard.
I know y'all standing by. Somebody over here? Yes, sir. Okay.
So, thank you, Mayor. So first, I just want to say thank you for bringing this together. It was needed. The transparency is really important. I also want to say that I stand with you 100% on not letting anybody come into our city and dictate what we do with our water. So, you know, I appreciate that. My questions, I have 2 questions for this gentleman, Kareem, and then I have a couple of questions for you. So my question to you, Kareem, is can you elaborate a little bit on the issue of the Legionnaires that is being talked about a lot in social media with the seniors? And also, can you expound a little bit on what's going around in terms of some cancer-causing agents in the water? And let me say this, because I get that a tone of defensiveness from both of you, right? And I haven't been a mayor or a director of water, so I don't know where that's coming from. But when sometimes when so like I'm a cancer survivor, right? My grandmother died of cancer. My husband's grandmother died of cancer. His aunt just died of cancer. His mother has cancer now. The director had cancer. So when you hear these things, it may not always come out right with constituents, but you have to give them a platform to ask their questions. And I don't know if that's what it is, but if you could just, and then I'll
So, what's the first one that you said about?
the Legionnaires.
So the Legionnaires. So the city's water source doesn't have Legionnaires. Legionnaires you may find on cruise ships, large buildings like this hotel, and it's in your plumbing or heating system. You get it from water mist. Right now, the water that the city may treat. It's like when you turn on cooling towers. Or you see people got tanks on the top of their roof. So they heat water up and they use it to cool down heating systems. And sometimes it mixes back into the plumbing. So that's why you find that in senior buildings. However, I'm glad you asked that question because you had a group out here saying, now the city giving us Legionnaires. They was giving Legionnaires in Union County. They said it was from North Water. We don't even send water out. Right? So everybody say every time something happens, Legionnaires is mainly found in water, right? It's mainly found in ventilation and heating systems. And big buildings. Yeah? And so it's good to know that because you mainly see those outbreaks on cruise ships, right? You mainly see it in a city like New York. If you look at New York, you got a lot of cooling towers on the skyscrapers, right? Those larger buildings. Legionnaires is not commonly found. Oh, the airport. That's a big ventilation system, right? So the mist, you're heating up water, you see the HVAC, you walk by and inhale. It's not that you watch it or something like that. The next question you asked me about was HHAs and THAs, cancer-causing agents, right?
Yeah, they're just saying it's 40 contaminants.
Disinfection byproduct. So, what that tells you is, one, that the city is testing their water. When we have an exceedance, we report it. We're telling you. So what that means is, you drink this water, you gotta drink a certain amount of water, Olympic size swimming pool of water, over 40 or 50 years, it may cause cancer. It tells you that as you look into it deep. Disinfect byproduct is, when we treat water with chlorine, potassium permanganate to reduce the water level where you can drink it in. Sometimes, like the leaves fall in the water, animals, whatever, that's disinfection. And you get an organic matter that develops right after you treat it. That organic matter is what we call hydrocetic acid, that's HHAs, or trihalomethanes. So it's a safe level. They say, the safe level on the federal standard is not to exceed 60% or 80%. So you can have 81, and you need to notify the public that, hey, we exceeded the level by 1 point, or we exceeded the level by 2 points. However, Newark might have tested 20 different sites, and one of them exceeded. You have the right to know. And by federal law, we have to put out that bell intelligence. And if you have a compromised immune system, you should go buy water or consult with your physician. Right, my direct answer is, you're right. We understand. What's your third question?
Well, the other two questions are for the mayor. Nathan?
One question.
Okay,
So
so,
you got this.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to know.
Shh. I know we're tired, y'all. We almost there. We almost there.
I want to know, do you have plans to find, because they're comparing us to Flint, do you have plans to search for another director? And also, can you use what's going on now as a way to push what you were saying when you first got elected about crime as a public health issue? Is there a way that you can connect what's going on right now? Because we do know that the lead affects the frontal lobe of the brain. It causes anger and aggression. Is that something that you could go after funds for on a federal level? Because they never did, as far as I know.
So the second one first. I was at a conference in Minnesota where we talked about crime as public health. There is cents of money to deal with trauma and all those things, and we're getting and using that money, not only on a federal level, but a state level, to begin to deal with crime as public health. I don't think that, the trauma that we have is enough. We don't need to deal with the trauma that we have in the city because of shootings, domestic violence, and all the other stuff that goes on. Right now, Kareem Adeem is our director. The reason I'm saying that is, listen, he was the assistant director, and Andrea, who I respect through the roof, right? I respect her. You know, I told a story at her funeral when she was brought on. There was people in her department telling me that we shouldn't make her the director. And I told him I had a conversation with Andrea, and 3 minutes into the conversation, I knew she should be a director, right? Because of the information she had. She lived in the city. She was committed to this town. She had, a good head on her shoulders, and she loved this community. And I have to think that her choice of making Kareem the assistant director means something, right? And when she passed away, he was there, right? And he's there, and then we got this problem, right? And so he got smack dab in the middle of all this drama as soon as he became the interim director. And I'm watching how he behaves and acts and talks and does things during this process. He knows that. That's why he's the interim director. When this thing is done, we will make a decision in the city about what we're going to do with the director of water and sewer. But right now, Kareem Adeem is our acting director. Yes.